Oh, what fun it is to ride in one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in one-horse open sleigh. Into the snow, in one-horse open sleigh. Over the fields we go, laughing all the way. Making spirits bright. Sing a sleighing song tonight. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in one-horse open sleigh.
It's Giving Tuesday. Don't forget to support Riley kids like me.
Hi, I'm Shay, and thanks to donors like you, I'm able to play sports and go swimming.
I love Riley because of the doctors and nurses that they have.
Hi, I'm Allie. Thanks to Riley donors like you, I'm able to do the things I enjoy, like reading and writing.
Hey, I'm Hayden. Thanks to Riley donors like you, I'm able to play games with my friends.
Give today to help support kids like me, my sister, and all children across the state. Donate at rileykids.org today.
One year ago, I was diagnosed with mixed phenotype leukemia. At Riley, not only did I have the best doctors, but a whole team of researchers behind me. Their scientists lead hundreds of clinical studies each year, working with patients to pioneer new breakthroughs and develop life-saving treatments for everything from cancer to diabetes. That means when you go to Riley, you know you're getting treated by the best. There are nationally ranked specialists that stay on the cutting edge. These are doctors who write the research papers other doctors have to study. And I wouldn't be here without that research, but there's still a lot more work to be done. With your support, Riley is expanding their research to help more families find answers to save even more kids like me. Because every child deserves Riley. Donate today at rileykids.org.
So how long have you guys been brothers?
Maybe for like 11
7 years.
Yes, since 2018.
When I think of strength and I think of somebody who doesn't let anything get him down, it's Lincoln. Noren's joy is what gets all of us through.
You know, you hear open heart surgery and it's, it's brain surgery, open heart surgery, it's not like a broken arm or anything like that.
I handed over my tiny little newborn and I just went in the hallway and cried. I was scared to death. Lincoln's heart defects are a tetralogy of Fallot with pulmonary atresia. Lincoln had several open heart surgeries. He had 3 within 2.5 years. Seemingly we were great. We were ready to expand our family, so we had Noren. COVID hit and Remley was born. So Remley turned 1 and he was very sick. So I took him to the emergency room and they found the Chiari malformation. It's hard to describe. Like, you hear all 3 of your kids need brain surgery within 7 months of each other. It's insane. Riley is the place that you're gonna be taken care of. You're gonna be in good hands no matter, what's going on. It is a place of hope for parents and children.
1, 2.
For like Lincoln and Noren, they have a passion for giving back. We first started, it was just an excuse for me and my friend to play video games for 24 hours and we raised a couple $100. This year we are hundreds of dollars away, from raising over $20,000.
It makes me feel proud of yourself, Lincoln. Yeah. It makes me feel really happy.
There's no better cause than a sick child or a family in need.
Every child deserves care and joy and laughter. Every kid deserves enjoyment and gets to go in the playroom.
Every child deserves hope. Hope for a better life, a brighter day.
And every child will get that at Riley.
began at my 20-week anatomy scan. They found a growth, a cervical teratoma was what it was called, so a large tumor on his neck. All along it was the cervical teratoma that was pushing against his airway. It was just unknown if they would be able to intubate him. So we actually had a big care conference scheduled, and then I started having contractions. We had something called an exit procedure. It was like a C-section, but they only delivered his head and his right shoulder, I think, to intubate him so that he could continue to get oxygen from the placenta. So after he was intubated, he went to the NICU. It was when he was 2 weeks old is when they did the surgery to remove his tumor.
The biggest thing is just the high level of care, along with just the number of people working together to execute a difficult plan.
He's doing great. He's feisty, he's playful, he started laughing. I don't think he would be alive without Riley. I don't think he would be here with us, so we owe them everything. We didn't plan to bring a baby home, and we feel so lucky that we were able to.
Riley Children's Foundation is very personal to me. Like so many Hoosiers, I was raised in a Riley family. My baby brother was born with a hole in his heart, and so Riley very quickly became a lifeline, not just for my brother, but for my entire family.
My interest in pediatrics and really interest in healthcare really came originally from a policy standpoint, and how are we going to make healthcare affordable, accessible. It really drives you every day to serve the children and the families that we get a privilege of taking care of.
I'm a native Hoosier. I've lived in Indiana for my entire life. My brothers would probably tell you I was a little bit bossy, but looking back now, I would say that I was confident and willful, honing those leadership skills at an early age.
You know, for me growing up, there was always this question of how do you do good in the world and what is that going to look like? And growing up in a you know, kind of sports being a primary focus for me, I do think that focus on how do you build a team? How do you build high-performing teams where everybody understands their role, is disciplined about their role? I think I appreciate the importance of collaboration, the importance of listening to others.
The opportunity to lead Riley Children's Foundation really feels like a full circle moment for me. To have the opportunity to give back to Riley when they saved the life of my family, and I know they've saved countless lives of so many Hoosiers across the state.
I've been in pediatrics for nearly 20 years, and colleagues across the country had nothing but great things to say about Riley. It was really the people of Riley that made this such a great opportunity. And so, again, it's that commitment of all of our team members who are such dedicated individuals, and it's that collective dedication that makes Riley such a special place.
I love working with people who are brilliant and who have big, bold visions, who are committed to excellence. And that is exactly who David is and who everyone on the Riley team is. And I'm really excited to work with all of them to see the biggest, boldest thing that we can do together.
Getting to know Courtney over her first few weeks has just been fantastic, and she has just brought a new energy to the relationship and really helping us continue to mold the relationship between Riley Children's Health and our Riley Children's Foundation.
Riley has been the crown jewel in the state of Indiana for the last 100 years, and I'm committed to upholding what it represents to so many families in Indiana and beyond.
Despite all of the challenges in the healthcare industry today, I'm incredibly optimistic about where Riley is, our relationship with the foundation. We have the right leadership team, we have the right community support to ensure that Riley continues the legacy that's been built over the first 100 years and ensure that we remain strong for the second 100 years.
We are at a critical inflection point in children's healthcare. Using research, diagnostics, and advanced treatments, Riley Children's Health is confronting some of the world's most complex health challenges and discovering new ways to prevent them before they even start.
Alexi was a case study that they discussed at a conference. It was cutting-edge information and research that saved his life because it was so rare, and if they had waited, his organs would have shut down.
Riley Children's proudly serves kids from all 92 counties across Indiana and continues to find innovative strategies to reach more families in need.
I don't even have the words to say to those doctors because the proof is in my child. The work that the physicians are doing, it doesn't go unnoticed. It's really making a difference.
Riley donation is more than just a donation. It's giving kids another chance and a fair chance of life again.
To continue this critical work, we're tackling our most ambitious fundraising campaign in Riley history to ensure every kid has access to world-class pediatric care.
There's a lot of situations where regular hospitals can't handle things, and the fetal center is able to handle those situations and give those babies a chance at life. And if it wasn't for the fetal center, Owen wouldn't be alive.
We strive to offer every child the best and brightest doctors, recruit the next generation of top pediatric physicians, and expand our support services to help Riley families through the toughest times.
I had to be hospitalized several times, but having those child life specialists and the Child Life Zone and many of those programs that made my stay there a little more normal for our family. Donations make that all possible.
This commitment also extends beyond physical health as we combat the relentless mental health crisis in Indiana. So no child has to face their struggles alone, because every child deserves Riley. Donate today at rileykids.org/everychild.
We're here to launch the Office of Community and Child Health through Riley Children's Health, which is the outreach and engagement arm for Riley. We will be doing community-based programming, tracking outcomes, and meeting all of our Marion County kids in the community and their families to make sure that they have access to care, to make sure they have appropriate screenings, and to develop programs that will impact their quality of life and their health outcomes. We are so thrilled that Julie Woods and the Wood Family Foundation made the inaugural gift to launch this office. We appreciate her efforts to make sure that there are pathways and programs that are community-based that meet kids and families in the community so that we can take care of their needs.
Child Life Services is a service that we provide to all patients at Riley Children's Health. And what we do is we work to make the hospital experience better. So we use our expertise in child development and family studies to ensure that patients understand why they're in the hospital, what's going to happen when they're in the hospital, and then support them through all of that while they're here, and also make sure that they get to be a kid first and a patient second.
Who loves you? Let me tell you this. It's really important to be able to read to babies because it's so good for their development. So helping them with these things in the hospital while they're here can really just help them continue to learn and grow.
As child life specialists, we do not bring any income into the hospital. So because of donors, we're in the hospital. We're educating kids. We're making sure kids are kids. I always say I have the best job in the hospital. I get to see families overcome so much. And they let me be there with them and teach them and embrace everything that's going on and embrace me and my team. And really just let us be there for them, I think is such a privilege and such an honor. And it's amazing.
My brother and I had cancer at the same time.
I was 2 and she was 6.
And we're both okay now because Riley has really, really good doctors. When I was 6, doctors found this huge tumor on my kidney.
I was 2 and they found different tumors. Mom and Dad were really scared. At Riley, the doctors were super nice and they knew exactly what to do.
Riley is like the best hospital for kids, nationally ranked in lots of stuff. Dr. Ladd took out my tumor and I had 20 rounds of chemo.
I had to stay at Riley for 54 days. Everyone was really nice to me.
When kids are really sick, you want doctors who have helped other kids before.
Riley gets the smartest doctors from everywhere.
Because of Riley, I do competitive cheerleading and volunteer with puppies.
I play football now. I'm really fast.
No family should ever have to leave Indiana for the care their kids need.
Help Riley keep the good doctors here so other kids can get better too.
Because every child deserves Riley. Donate today at rileykids.org.
The program is designed for our kids who are here in the hospital, sometimes for long periods of time and miss a significant amount of school. While a family's first worry may be medical needs, their second worry is always school. So we like to swoop in and try to help families navigate, make sure kids keep learning even when they have medical care.
This is different from traditional school because we work with the patients one-on-one. We're differentiating our curriculum around their specific healthcare needs.
Since I am working one-on-one, it's like I'm not in a whole classroom with a bunch of other kids and they get to know me better. I personally like it.
We're working in small group settings. We still have a classroom, but it's typically a much smaller amount.
Whatever subjects kids are enrolled in school, we do here. They may be in elementary school, middle school, high school. We talk to their schools, figure out what classes they're in, and we work on just those things. We wouldn't be able to exist without the support of our donors. I would just say thank you for that, and we see it each day in what your support has done for children in Indiana and across the nation.
Being able to catch up with school and everything has been amazing.
Hi, I'm Drew. Thanks to Riley donors like you, I'm able to go fishing, swim, play basketball, go camping, and go golfing. I love Riley because they help me feel comfortable whenever I don't feel comfortable. Don't forget to support Riley kids like me. Thank you, thank you, thank you!
Camp Riley is just summer camp for kids who would normally get this experience. Kids come here with all walks of life, no matter what diagnoses they have. We make it as adaptive as possible, and they get a week of summer camp.
It's the essence of everything accessible. They're not told no, where there's no boundaries, there's nothing that they can't do.
So ziplining, climbing the Alpine Tower, archery, swimming at the lake, canoeing, sleeping in cabins. That's what we do here.
The zip line here, it's absolutely one of the most popular activities.
There is very few zip lines in the world that can accommodate people that use wheelchairs.
It's exhilarating and it's very fast, like the air blowing across your face, it's like it gets your blood pumping.
The pool is huge.
When the campers see that they get to go to the pool, when that pops up on their schedule, that is the ideal day for them, and they love just hopping in, splashing around, hanging out with their friends in the pool.
This place is magic. There's nothing like this place. Camp Riley to me is the place where kids can really get to be themselves. What we do here changes so many lives. Thank you so much to everyone who's ever donated with Camp Riley. It changes lives every day.
I want to see it. Bring it up.
Yay!
Bring it over here. No.
I've had many kids that don't want to do things that can do because it can be their direction. Can you keep playing?
Yeah.
Sorry, girlfriend. Wait, watch out behind me.
Sweet, sweet.
That was awful.
Turn him. Turn him. Easiest thing to do. Further. Okay.
Xander, you're about to see it, buddy. Okay. Are you ready? All right.
Good job.
I love Riley because it's the best hospital I can ever go to.
Every moment has led us to this day. This is what we've been waiting for.
I love Riley because all of the doctors and nurses are nice.
We can stand on this ground so sure.
I love Riley because they help kids like me.
This is what we've been waiting for.
I love Riley because all of the doctors and nurses take amazing care of me.
We can stand on this ground so sure. This is what we've been waiting for.
I love Riley.
We're thrilled to bring the hospital to you through the Experience Riley. I encourage you to visit with my colleagues. There's more than 40 of us here tonight, and take some time to test your hand at robotic surgery. Meet a young woman whose life is made better thanks to a custom-made medical device from here in Indiana. Learn what it's like to intubate a very medically fragile child, and to get a glimpse of the specialized therapies that are helping kids with behavioral health conditions. And that's possible truly thanks to all of you. And to the army of Hoosiers who share our commitment to helping every child reach their full potential. At least $300 million to transform the lives and build a healthier future for children and
All right, everybody, come with me and join my team as we go to prom.
Women for Riley is a women-led volunteer organization that focuses on 3 core pillars within Riley Children's Health: volunteering in the hospital, serving patients and their families. The second is funding 4 key programs and services within the hospital. Third, as you can see tonight, is our signature event, the Riley Cancer Center Prom.
We wanted to make it more Hollywood-esque and have the kids feel like stars for the night and walk the red carpet. So we used all the history and famous people that have come out of Indiana in our deck board. Astronauts, the basketball players, the musicians, even Garfield is playing back there to celebrate Indiana.
My first experience here at the Riley Prom, just could not be more impressed. You walk into this building, you see the decor, you see the fun that the kids are having, you see all of the team members who are supporting our children, and it's just touching to see that impact. And so just an outstanding event, and couldn't be more impressed and happier for these families and their kids.
What's your favorite part about prom?
It's petty too.
Okay, any specific animal?
Bunny.
It's really warming to know that there's people out there who care, and we need all the help that we can get. And it's just nice to have so many people come together for them.
I just like to dance.
Being all together as a family is really fun.
And what has been your favorite part so far?
Probably the Glam Lounge.
I think they missed out on a lot. Just having a carefree night is amazing.
This is awesome.
This is awesome. Perfect. Thank you, Skylar.
Just the journey that these children have been on, the challenges that they face. This is a night for them to be kids and just celebrate as kids. It's just great to see them out smiling and having fun.
Hi, my name is Hannah. I'm a child life specialist at Riley, and I'm here with Hamza today to talk about Riley Prom.
I just saw my 2 nurses that I haven't seen in like 2 weeks, and I was like, oh my gosh, I am so happy to see them. Do this at least 3 times a year, I say, because this is so fun. I will look forward to this every single year.
So the Solo Step is a tool we can use that we've never had in any of our clinics before, and it allows us to do a lot of really cool things for patients that we couldn't do otherwise. It allows us to put a patient in a harness. That harness kind of lifts up, takes away some of their body weight so that they can do the things that might be really hard for them for a lot of different reasons.
I think it truly makes a difference from what we were doing prior to, because it is a little bit more of her being independent and actually taking those steps and not so much pushing up and like bunny hopping, what we call it.
With this, it makes me so like my endurance is longer, my legs.
If you want them to work on balance, or they can't support their body weight, you have to support their body weight and try to do all these different things with them, and that's really hard to do. With the Solo Step, we put them in a harness, and then that harness can help absorb their body weight so they can do so many different things.
I like with this, like we get to actually have that interaction with playing catch, where when she's using the walker, it was like she's totally dependent on the therapist holding her up.
A lot of times walking is what parents want, right? We would do a lot of things in PT, and there's a lot of things that we can work on, but at the end of the day, a lot of times you just want your kid to be able to walk, and this allows parents to see their kids walk.
Thank you, Martin Transport, for making a big difference.
I saw him as the epitome of health. Couldn't find anyone healthier until he wasn't.
We came in at 5:30 in the morning to swim. He was right on pace the whole time. Best I'd ever seen him practice. And at the end of practice, he didn't have the strength to pull himself out of the water. He started convulsing, his legs started shaking.
It was like Mike Tyson just hit me in the torso. They were like, you know, it's not looking too good. We're gonna have to take you to the hospital. I remember seeing like the hospital doors open, and that's about it.
I received a call from the doctor. Said, you need to get in here right away. Your boy is very sick. As I entered the room, he was trying to pull his oxygen mask off. And he said, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. And his heart stopped. And eventually they came in and said if they could put him on ECMO life support, which was his only chance at survival, they could transport him to Riley Hospital where he would stand a chance. No one had ever been transported into Riley Hospital on ECMO.
He was on the maximal amount of life support a person can be on. Dr. Lutfi, his idea to get Zane on the ECMO machine so that he could get just enough blood flow to his body, to his organs to survive transporting from Evansville to Riley Hospital was really the key to all of this.
His situation was unique, and we have to establish all this new pathway for us to place someone on ECMO 3 hours away from Riley and able to transport them here.
Dr. Lutfi stood at the foot of his bed and said, "Oh, Mr. Zane, you might have just opened the door for many children around the state."
We were able to restore the heart function when we found the cardiac lesion by our cardiology group.
For patients like Zane, we have the best of all the teams, and they really help our patients feel comfortable in the hospital, which is important for their recovery.
With my story, I can get better research and funding for ECMO and ECMO transport, especially with kids. That's what saved my life.
Zane's story really emphasized how important to push more and more in pediatric research. We do not have a transport ECMO program for pediatrics. I think Zane paved the way for us to talk more and more about it.
Zane, you're one of the most incredible young men I've met. I know at your age, or my age now, that there's no way I would have been able to handle what you handled, what you got through. It's pretty amazing.
It takes donors like you for them to be able to continue to provide this for other children. I would not have my son today if it weren't for Riley Hospital.
My name is Alexandra Beach, and I'm the Plan Giving Director here at Riley Children's Foundation. Plan Giving is something that is put into place now, but the donation doesn't come until later. And a good example of that is writing Riley into your will or trust, or leaving Riley as a beneficiary of your retirement plan. So people can help Riley either by giving current outright gifts of cash or transferring securities. They can also help by leaving Riley in their estate. So they could leave Riley as a beneficiary of their will or trust, either as a percentage or a set amount, or a beneficiary of an existing retirement plan or life insurance policy. Many supporters want to help make a big difference in the lives of kids, but are worried that they might need the funds that they've saved, for their retirement or long-term care or anything like that. And so they're thrilled to learn that Plan Giving is something that they can do. They can put it into place now, and if they end up needing those funds, that's perfectly understandable, but if there's some funding left over, they can make a big difference in the lives of kids. And one of my favorite quotes that I think really fits with Plan Giving is that society grows great when we plant trees in whose shade we know we will never sit. And I think that really speaks to so many of our Plan Giving donors who are giving right now, even though they will never know that the children that they are benefiting. Plan Giving is very easy to do. It's not scary, and we are here to help.
We became connected through our daughter, who was a Riley patient. And in 1990, when she was 4 years old, she was diagnosed with ALL leukemia. They realized that Meredith's ALL leukemia was a very, very rare form. What was also happening at that time was the insurgence of the bone marrow transplants. And the only hospital that had done many of them was in Seattle. And Riley had just brought in a doc who had done a residency out there. So Meredith went out to Seattle, and sure enough, after 6 months, we brought Meredith back, cured of ALL leukemia. And I don't know that Riley actually takes enough credit for that. I'm not sure that they even realized that through their Dr. Chirva that was here, and through what we went through with Meredith, they essentially made medical history. And since 1990, our group of dealerships, for every car that we sold during the month of May, we would donate $100 to Riley Hospital as a way of supporting the hospital and saying thank you. This isn't the first, we've had others, but this is the first I think that has Meredith's name on it. Meredith is special. There's not another place like this. It's about kids for kids. They really do care.
In 2019, what we thought was a sprained wrist injury actually was acute lymphoblastic leukemia.
Understandably, Mason and his family were completely shell-shocked and overwhelmed.
I definitely had to do a lot of treatments. I remember that some of the chemo that I got would give me neuropathy where I couldn't feel, or I just couldn't feel stuff in my feet.
Mason went through the first year of consolidation treatment and had begun maintenance treatment. And at a routine lumbar puncture and a bone marrow biopsy, we found out that he had relapsed. Mason transitioned to the stem cell transplant team.
Riley is the only hospital in the state of Indiana that offers pediatric stem cell transplant and immunotherapy. And he did very well, but about a year after his transplant, he again relapsed. And really, at that point of therapy, there are not a lot of clinical options that were FDA approved.
Riley Children's Hospital was able to offer a study for Mason to be a part of.
He received a research-based CAR T-cell therapy product that, shockingly and amazing to all of us, got him into remission.
We know that Mason is here and he is alive because of previous research.
Most kids in that position will not survive their cancer.
If we could be a part of that to further that research and development for pediatric cancer research, we immediately signed whatever forms we could to help him and help other children.
Research saves lives. That's the bottom line. And whether that is in leukemia therapy or other cancers, cures are not possible without innovation, and innovation is not possible without dollars to go behind it.
My son's treatment was provided through research that was paid for by generous donors.
We're so thankful to the Walther Cancer Foundation for the support that they provided for doing some of this work. Their research dollars fuel innovation in ways that, if it weren't there, cures like the one Mason has experienced would not be possible. We wouldn't have the opportunity to see Mason not just living, but thriving.
To anyone that would consider adding to this donation, know that you are making a difference in the life of a child, their family, their community.
It's just important. There's nothing else I could say.
We are at the Wells Center for Pediatric Research. We study everything from children's cancer to diabetes to genetic disorders. We are a basic research lab, but some of the therapies that have been developed can go on to treat or cure children with disorders. I think the research that we do here is exceptional. It makes me feel immensely proud that the work I do matters. As a mother of a young child, all I want to do is make sure that a child does not have to go through pain and distress that a disorder causes. And I really hope that the Wells Center for Pediatric Research continues to grow, in part thanks to the donors who made it all possible.
Alexei is a curious and very hardworking young man. He was the swimmer of the year, I would say competitive but very focused on his goals.
He had big plans for the summer, looking forward to school. We had just come back from the school that he was going to be attending, and we were all very excited about that. Then, he started to get sick.
So it all kind of started with a migraine, and eventually
those symptoms started to persist, as well as a really high temperature that was pretty stubborn.
Tatiana was out of the country on business, and we went to the local hospital. His doctor called again and said, well, it looks like it's more complicated, so he needs to go to Riley. And that was when the alarm sort of went off.
His red blood cells were getting destroyed on a constant basis, and that made us obligated to keep giving him blood transfusion. And at that time, we were not sure, is this an infection? Is this a malignancy? This could be any of this or all of them together. It was a very rare condition, yet extremely serious and very fatal if not recognized and treated.
I remember very clearly landing in Indy, getting to the hospital, and they came back with a diagnosis of HLH.
HLH is basically where your immune system is dysregulated and you have this hyperinflammation. And then all that inflammation from your own cells is damaging your tissue and your organs.
So we had to react immediately. That included some steroids and some actually chemotherapy that target these cells and control this dysregulated immune response in the body.
I've always called him Alexander the Great. And Alexander the Great entered the biggest battle. I remember one of the times sitting back and not just thinking, why him? Why let it be me? As a parent, you wanted to take that.
I would say there's over 50 doctors that were involved in my case at some point, and almost every department at Riley.
From the very beginning, it was arms wrapped around us and included us in all of it. And I mean, there were 25 people outside of his room, and we had a voice.
It was a tough decision early on to treat him with steroids. This medicine is life-saving. To stop the HLH at the same time, there is a chance of consequences.
The steroids really were eating up at his femurs, his bones, and eventually he ended up with 2 core decompression surgeries. And at the end of that, he learns that he has to have a hip replacement surgery.
The hip replacement improved his quality of life dramatically. What happened at Riley not only, saved him physically, it opened these doors for him. He's a different person today, and he has 1 more year of school in culinary science and sustainable food systems. And he's also going to be competing in his first bodybuilding competition.
I want him to be happy and live the life that he wants to live, and we couldn't do that without all of these treatments. And if it's not near 100% survival rate for kids, then that's not good enough. And the way that we get better at that is through research.
So I encourage anyone who has a way to say thank you and pay it forward to do it with Riley, because they will make sure that has the biggest impact on the most amount of children in our state and beyond.
My name is Roland Herzog. You are in part of the Herman B. Wells Center for Pediatric Research, and what we're doing here, we are developing gene therapies that will help children that are born with genetic diseases. So the ideal outcome would be that we treat a child who's born with a genetic defect, and with a one-time treatment, we'll have long-term correction for years to come. The Riley Children's Foundation and Riley Children's Hospital and the Department of Pediatrics and the Wells Center for Pediatric Research, they're all working in concert. And so it's a unique situation where the money that is donated will be used exactly the way it is intended. It really will help develop these types of medications for kids that need them.
When Rowan was born, he was just over a pound and very sick. They told us to say goodbye. But we took him to Riley, and the doctors there saved his life. We could never thank Dr. Ladd and the GI team enough for giving us hope. At Riley, doctors never give up on kids. Because of them, kids like Rowan get a chance to dream about the future. Riley is one of the best children's hospitals in the nation. That's why Riley recruits the best and the brightest doctors from all over the world. Every day, kids like Rowan need Riley. That means having awesome doctors, the newest discoveries, and support for families, no matter how hard it gets. Every child deserves Riley. Donate today at rileykids.org.
We found out about Lucy's diagnosis when I was 12 weeks pregnant. We knew then that she had a heart defect.
So I was born with a heart defect called heterotaxy. It's where my heart was broken and I had all of my intestines were malrotated, so I had to have a surgery for that.
And we knew that she was going to need open heart surgery as a newborn baby. She was in the hospital the first 5 months of her life, and during that time, she had her organs fixed, she had open heart surgery, she had a pacemaker put in at 10, and Riley has been a part of our story since the day she joined us.
And now I feel awesome because of Riley.
Lucy does it all. She cheers for the football team at her middle school, and she also is involved with dance class.
I just like being out on the field and making the crowds having that energy and just really getting engaged into the game. I like to hang out with my siblings and I like to play outside.
She's absolutely resilient. When we left the hospital, it was like saying goodbye to our family. Little did I know that these nurses and doctors and Child Life and everybody at Riley, how amazing they would be and how important they would become to our family. I think what stands out most to me is just the level of how much they care for these children and their families. Riley truly is such a place where we are just so blessed to have. These kids need you, we need you, because without the funding, new innovations would not happen.
Thank you so much for helping and supporting Riley to help kids like me and other kids.
Back in 2018, she came to us, approached us about wanting to do a lemonade stand to help Riley.
Throughout the years I went to Riley, it inspired me to give back. So that's when I went to Mom and Dad, like, oh my gosh, can I do a lemonade stand?
So we've had community help by advertising for her. We've had community help by donations of lemonade and cookies.
I just really wanted to give back because it's a really amazing hospital.
When she was born at 39 weeks. She had weak eyelid muscles. They went in and took a very thin line and created eyelid muscles for her. Riley has always been there for us. They've done a lot of things for us and for Anniston, and we want to make sure that other children and other families have the reassurance and the comfort of going to Riley. What I find very rewarding is Anniston's excitement about her doing something to give back to other people. Every little bit helps, even just the littlest amount of money helps, and it goes a long way.
I'm really hoping that my lemonade stand inspires other Riley kids to be who they are and what they dream of.
This is a dream that Anniston has, and we just want to make sure we continue to give the tools to her to complete her dream.
I'm just doing this to give back to Riley.
My name is Tila Hamilton. We are looking at TJ and Xander Hamilton, aka the Hamiltwins. They come up with that nickname for them at Riley NICU. So when they were born at 23 weeks and 2 days. Both of them had lung issues or chronic lung disease. Xander ultimately ended up with a tracheostomy, and then TJ had brain bleeds that ultimately cleared up, but it did leave a little damage. Riley has been absolutely amazing. I think that they gave them the greatest chance of survival and having as normal of a life that they could possibly have. They have flourished since they've been home. They just continue to progress, and we give the thanks to Riley. It's mainly the license plates, and I just ordered another one. I just purchased a vehicle recently, so I purchased another Riley plate. Anytime that we see any type of fundraising, always sure to give. We definitely are grateful that we are able to give back. They're so deserving, and they do such a great job. I can't say where my girls would be, where we would be today, if they weren't flown here to Riley.
My name is Laura Priester, and I am the Program Director for Grateful Families. The Grateful Families program is for families who have had a personal experience at Riley Children's Health and gives them an opportunity to give back to the hospital. Primarily, there are 3 ways that our families are involved. So that is sharing their story, donating to the hospital, or fundraising. So that could range anything from lemonade stands to sponsoring a Riley wagon, all the way up to naming a space at the hospital or creating a named fund. Oftentimes when families first reach out to us, they know that they want to do something. And so when they connect with us and realize that we have a whole team that can help and support them, it's a very meaningful experience for families. I'm actually a Riley parent myself. My son is a patient. There's quite a community of us out there. We often find each other once we're thrown into this medical world that so few of us ever expected to be in. It's oftentimes very hard to explain what it's like to have a sick child to other parents or other families who luckily haven't experienced that. And so being involved with the Grateful Families program is just a really great way to connect with other families and also allow our children to connect with other kids who have had similar experiences as well.
The focus of our program at Riley is to provide comprehensive and convenient care for our families as best as we possibly can. Our families experience a lot of barriers when trying to access care.
So tell me how things have been going since I saw you last.
It's been wonderful.
Yeah?
Yes.
So Kalina came to us soon after she was diagnosed with sickle cell disease as a newborn and has been a part of our sickle cell program ever since.
I would hope that people would realize that sickle cell disease is indeed a chronic illness, and I don't think that people remember that often. I will say that I often compare sickle cell disease to that of diabetes, where it's an illness in which you know you live with forever, but you don't see it in someone. You don't look at someone and say, oh, you have diabetes. The same goes for someone that has sickle cell disease. Just because they are normal and look normal, you don't understand all of what they're going through in their life.
Kalina and her mom are a perfect example of a family that travels 3+ hours in one direction to come see us. And that's a significant burden on a family. And having support from donors to help our families access us is incredibly important. She is living with a disease that can often lead to a lot of limitations. And so being able to see kids like Kalina and others continue to forge ahead and live these rich and fulfilling lives is definitely an inspiration to our team. And I think we're grateful that we're able to help them in that journey.
Meet Jamarion. He was born with a heart defect and congenital hernia, as well as sickle cell disease.
It was nothing that I can do to help him, but just be right there and support him while he was going through his pain. The doctors suggested that we needed to be transported over to Riley Hospital just so that Jamarion can get better care.
At Riley, he underwent surgeries to repair the hole in his heart and now receives comprehensive lifelong care at Riley's Sickle Cell Clinic. Today, because of Riley, Jamarion gets to play basketball with his mom, have fun with his toys, and just be a kid.
I'm very thankful for Riley because without them, I'm not even sure if my son would be living right now due to how sickly he was, having a hole in his heart. I don't even know how far he would make it. Without the support for the donors, I feel like we would still be stuck in trying to figure out how to care for Jamarion. With everything that they did for him, it just makes me very thankful.
Kids like Jamarion count on Riley, and Riley counts on you. Donate today at RileyKids.org.
I hope every last one of you understand that children are the future. At one point, we were children, and somebody had to invest in us. If we were to take a step back and look at the needs of our children today, it is in the area of their mental health. My name is Dr. Russell Leday, and I am a triple board resident, meaning that I train in pediatrics, adult psychiatry, and child and adolescent psychiatry. Kids are committing suicide at rates that we've never seen before. We have got to take this seriously. There's still a huge leap that we have to make with regards to mental health diagnoses and just our overall general perception of mental health disorders. I think there's still this huge stigma that really hinders the conversation being furthered, and it also hinders patients from wanting to come and seek care because they're worried about somebody, quote unquote, calling them crazy, as opposed to thinking about it as an illness, a true illness. I want kids to have accessibility to child psychiatrists, specifically in the state of Indiana. I think we have very abysmal numbers right now with regards to child psychiatrists within the state, and even pediatricians who are trained mildly in the area of mental health. You making a donation to this campaign is you saying that the mental health of children is important, and it's especially important to Hoosier kids. The leadership here is sound, and it is proven, and that's why Riley Children's Hospital, and specifically our mental health resources, are the best place for us to be treating our Hoosier children.
A generation of youth is in mental health crisis, with suicide rates at alarming levels. But we have the power to change that through the most ambitious fundraising campaign in Riley Children's history. With donor support, Riley is expanding access to mental health care, including in kids' own doctor's offices, so no child has to face their struggles alone. Because every child deserves Riley. Donate today.
Tonight's event is tremendously important to the future of healthcare in Indiana and at Riley Children's Health. We were able tonight to kick off our largest campaign in Riley's history.
This $300 million campaign is going to make such a huge impact on the lives of all Indiana kids and families who visit Riley. It's truly an investment in the potential of kids.
I've got to meet a lot of incredible Riley kids over the years. They come from different backgrounds, different parts of the state, different family dynamics, but every single one of them deserves Riley, and I want to continue that for generations of children. Blockhouse Studios are really the leader in creating immersive experiences.
Guests walking through here should feel very thankful that they have an opportunity given to us by Blockhouse Studios to see what Riley has to offer.
If I could distill the experience of being in this room, the experience Riley Space, down to 2 words, it would be awe-inspiring. Because people who come through, we wish we could take every single person through Riley, take them on rounds, show them the labs. That's not practical because it's a functioning hospital. But this space, in partnership with Blockhouse Studios, allows us to do that. It allows people to meet the researchers, to see what our surgeons are doing, to understand how the trailblazers and innovators and healers at Riley are changing lives in Indiana. And they step into it just as if they were stepping into the hospital. It feels like you're there, and that makes it so much more powerful and so much more real. And it really takes our campaign event and our gala to an entirely different level. And I hope people leave here just inspired to be part of it.
Thank you so much to Riley donors.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much to Riley donors.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.